When a lion cub wandered too far near Tanzania's Serengeti grasslands, what followed was nothing short of a wild miracle. It was a morning filled with golden light, and the air felt calm, almost too calm. The tall grass danced gently in the wind, hiding secrets no one could see. Near a shallow dip in the land, a playful lion cub named Jabari chased after a jumping grasshopper. His tiny paws bounced around in joy, unaware that he was drifting further and further away from his pride. Just behind him, his father Kofi, a strong male lion, rested under a shaded baobab tree. His eyes were half closed, enjoying the warmth of the sun. Nearby, Jabari's mother Zola lay quietly, her ears alert but relaxed. Everything looked peaceful, like a perfect scene from a nature painting. But deep in the grass, something deadly was waiting. Without making a sound, a huge python had been watching Jabari. Its body moved slowly like a snake-shaped shadow, its skin blending perfectly with the dusty earth. It had been waiting for this moment, still, patient, and dangerous. Its tongue flickered in and out, sensing every movement, reading the air like a silent hunter. Jabari, too busy chasing the insect, didn't see the danger coming. He jumped once more, following the grasshopper into an area where the grass grew taller and wilder. Behind him, the thick grass twitched slightly and then stopped moving completely. From far away, Kofi's ears perked up. Zola lifted her head suddenly. Something wasn't right. The air felt strange, and a sharp silence replaced the usual sounds of the morning. Then came the sound they feared, a sharp yelp, thin but filled with panic. Jabari's cry cut through the air like a knife. Both lions jumped to their feet. Kofi roared, his voice booming across the plains like thunder. Zola began pacing, her muscles tight with fear. But they couldn't see their cub. The tall grass had swallowed him. Hidden below, the python had already wrapped its thick coils around Jabari's small body. His tiny paws pushed helplessly against the snake's grip. The serpent squeezed tighter with every second, its cold strength trained by years of hunting. Jabari's body began to weaken. His cries turned soft. The lions could hear him, but they couldn't reach him. One wrong step, and it could be too late. They circled the area, growling low, tails twitching in anger. But fear held them back. They didn't know what to do. Time was slipping away. And just when all hope seemed lost, something unexpected happened. From the edge of the grassland near Ngorongoro crater, a large figure stepped out of the acacia trees. It wasn't another lion. It wasn't a ranger. It was Baraka, a lone silverback gorilla, old and forgotten by his troop. No one had seen him for years. His black fur was dusty, and a streak of silver ran down his powerful back. His deep eyes locked onto the sound of Jabari's fading cry. Baraka had watched from the distance before. But this time, something changed. He didn't just hear the cry. He felt it. And then he began to walk. Jabari's small body was now deep inside the tall grass, hidden from view. But beneath that peaceful sea of green, danger had already wrapped itself around him. The massive python had found its prey. Its thick, muscular coils closed around Jabari like a trap made of stone. The snake's skin shimmered in the sunlight that sneaked through the grass. Its tongue flickered again, cold, calm, and cruel. The young lion cub squirmed and kicked, but the python didn't care. It had done this many times before. Jabari's soft roars faded into whimpers. He was running out of strength. Back near the trees, Kofi and Zola were now fully alert. Kofi roared again, louder this time, shaking the ground beneath his paws. Zola growled low, scanning the grass with burning eyes. They moved closer but didn't know where the danger was. One wrong move could crush their son. Fear froze them in place. Suddenly, the grass trembled again, but this time from another direction. From the edge of the Ngorongoro forest, the same place he had vanished into long ago, Baraka, the silverback gorilla, stepped out. His large frame moved slowly at first, each step silent but strong. His back glowed faint silver under the morning sun, and dust clung to his fur. But his eyes, they burned with purpose. He had heard Jabari's cries. He had seen the danger. Now, he would act. The lions stopped. They turned their heads in surprise. What was this creature doing here? He wasn't one of them. He wasn't even a hunter. But Baraka didn't hesitate. He began pounding his chest, not with anger, but as a warning, a message to all around him. I am here, and I will not back down. And then, like a shadow turned into thunder, Baraka charged. His huge fist smashed the ground as he ran. Dust flew up behind him. The lions watched, frozen in disbelief. This was not his fight. This wasn't even his kind. But Baraka ran straight into the heart of danger. The python sensed something new. Its coils twitched. Its head lifted, tongue flicking in the air. But it was too late. Baraka grabbed the thick, scaly body and pulled. The serpent hissed loudly, shocked. It tried to tighten its grip on Jabari. The cub gasped for air. His paws trembled weakly. But Baraka's muscles didn't shake. He pulled again, harder, his breath sharp and wild. Grass bent around them. Dust rose. The battle had begun. The python thrashed. Its body hit Baraka hard across the shoulder. He grunted, but didn't let go. Instead, he growled deep from his chest. Not in rage, but in refusal. He would not let death win. Inch by inch, the coils began to loosen. Jabari slipped slightly, his tiny body now halfway out of the grip. One last pull. Baraka roared, and the python finally lost its hold. Jabari fell to the ground, limp but breathing. Alive, the snake tried to strike again. But something in Baraka's stillness, in his silent strength, made it stop. It uncoiled and vanished back into the grass, defeated. Baraka stood tall over Jabari, his chest rising, his eyes calm. Kofi stepped forward. Zola circled closer. But Baraka didn't move. He slowly turned and walked away, back toward the trees. There was no victory dance, no celebration, just silence. But in that silence, a hero had been made. The grass was still. The storm was over. But the air carried something heavy, something that would never be forgotten. Jabari, the little lion cub, lay quietly in the crushed grass. His chest moved slowly. He was alive, but barely. Kofi and Zola stood over him, their bodies tense, unsure whether to protect or to understand what they had just seen. They didn't follow Baraka. They simply watched. The old silverback didn't look back. His strong steps took him toward the forest at the edge of Serengeti National Park, where the morning light met the shadows of tall trees. He became smaller with every step, until he was nothing more than a dark shape among the branches. And then, gone. Moments later, the hum of an engine broke the silence. A patrol truck arrived at the top of a nearby hill. Inside were two wildlife rangers, Mwamba and Thabo. They had been following strange sounds, loud roars, not from a hunt, but something raw, something different. Mwamba hit the brakes. Both men stepped out and stared. Below them was a scene no one could explain. The lion cub lay in the grass. The python was gone, but what caught their eyes most was a figure walking into the forest, something big, powerful, and very real. "Is that a gorilla?" Mwamba asked softly. Thabo didn't answer. He just nodded, eyes wide. When they finally approached, Kofi and Zola didn't attack. They simply formed a wide circle around Jabari, a silent wall. A message. You can look, but do not come too close. Mwamba knelt beside the cub. He touched him gently. "Is alive," he whispered. "Barely." Thabo looked around. No blood, no kill, just broken grass. A trail where something heavy had moved through. And then deep, wide prints. Knuckle prints. Back at the ranger station, silence filled the air. The story Mwamba and Thabo told was met with doubt and disbelief. A gorilla saving a lion cub? Even in a land of wild wonders, it sounded impossible. One ranger laughed. "Maybe the heat got to you." But Mwamba didn't argue. He showed them the signs, the deep tracks, the torn grass, a silver tuft of fur caught on a branch, and the cub, still alive, healing under careful watch. In the days that followed, the story spread across the land. People began to whisper Baraka's name. They called him the Guardian. Locals told the tale with wide eyes. Tourists asked about the mysterious gorilla who protected lions. Some believed it was just nature showing mercy. Others thought it was something deeper, something sacred. Though no one ever saw Baraka again, signs of him remained. A branch bent where no lion had passed. Prints that disappeared into the forest. Some said he still watched from the trees, a silent shadow over the plains. As for Jabari, he returned to play in the grasslands, never knowing the one who had saved him. But the land remembered, the earth remembered, because in a world where strength usually means power, one being had chosen to use it for protection instead. Baraka didn't wait for applause. He didn't need a reward. He just acted, because it was the right thing to do. And maybe that's a lesson. Real courage doesn't shout. It moves in silence. It saves without asking. It disappears without needing to be seen. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe, because out here in the wild, the quietest heroes often leave the loudest echoes.